Hello friends, welcome to Book Voice Club. Today, we are going to talk about the book How to Have Your Best Year Ever by Rohn. It was 10 o'clock at night. Radha was sitting in her room. The cold winter breeze was hitting the window panes. A small lamp was running on the wall of her room, which was spreading light yellow light. She had a book in her hand, How to Have Your Best Year Ever. Just by looking at the name of the book, she felt that there would be something different in it. Radha was fond of reading books, but this time she started reading this book with the hope of changing something. Today her mood was a little strange. A small argument with friends in college had spoiled her day. She felt that her life had become very monotonous. Everything was going on in the same routine. Class, studies, some friends, and then the same small problems. She was not able to understand how she could make her life better. She read the book. She opened the first page of the book and started reading. The first lesson was philosophy is the key to success. She felt that this is a very deep topic. She told herself that philosophy seems very intellectual and not of her interest. But then curiosity stopped her. She thought that let's read it. Author Rohn had written that our philosophy, that is, how we see our life and situations, is the biggest factor that defines our success. Radha felt strange to hear this. She asked herself, what will philosophy change in life? Marks come from hard work, right? Happiness also depends on external things, from friends, family, achievements. Then where did this internal mindset thing come from? But as she read, she started understanding things. It was written in the book that we cannot change our external circumstances like strong wind, rain, or we have no control over any difficulty, but we can adjust ourselves. That is, our internal mindset can make us strong in any situation. Radha stopped for a while. She looked out of the window and thought, meaning, they are trying to say that the world will remain the same, but I will have to change my perspective. Is it really that easy? She said to herself, maybe, but I can try. There was a line in the book that made a great impact on Radha. A successful life is built on a few simple disciplines. Practice consistently, while failure results from repeated errors in judgment. Radha felt as if someone was explaining it to her directly after reading this. She thought, okay, so it means taking small correct decisions consistently and not repeating the mistakes again and again. It sounds easy to hear, but it might be difficult to do. She recalled some moments of her life. She started remembering times like she always planned to wake up early in the morning, but then hit the snooze button. She thought of preparing notes for studies, but used to procrastinate. She suddenly realized that this was the biggest reason for her failures, errors in judgment. Radha thought that maybe I should take every small decision of mine thoughtfully. If I develop discipline, then maybe I can achieve what I want in my life. By now her curiosity had increased. She underlined this part of the book and took out a diary. She always made notes after reading something good, so that she could remember those things. She wrote, a philosophy matters. What we think shapes our reality. To control the sail, not the wind. I have to stop wasting time on things that are not in my control. 3 disciplines. Its success comes from small right steps. Radha felt a little better. When she wrote this, she felt that she was starting a new chapter of her life. She said to herself, Radha, if you start changing your thinking from today itself, then perhaps your coming year can really become the best year ever. That night, before going to sleep, she set a new goal. She thought, I will practice just one small discipline every day. From today, I will not ignore small things. This will be my first step. She closed her book and tried to sleep, but those words were still echoing in her mind. Control the sail, not the wind. This had touched her deeply. She decided in her heart that now she will not take anything lightly in her life. The next day, Radha woke up early. She opened the window of her room and looked outside. The cold wind was still blowing. But today she felt that the wind was not going to bother her, but was a sign of a fresh start. Radha opened her diary and wrote in it, from today my philosophy will be simple. I can control what I can. I'm focusing on that. I will take a small step every day towards my success. This was just the first step of Radha's journey. She had learnt only the first lesson of the book, but she knew that this journey was going to be very long and interesting, because this time she was not just reading a book, she was trying to change herself. It was 7 o'clock in the morning, and light sunlight was coming into Radha's room. She opened her eyes before her phone's alarm rang. This was like a small victory for her, because Usually she snoozed the alarm 3-4 times. If you like our free summaries, then you can subscribe to our channel by a membership or support us through UPI. Now going back to the summary today, she was feeling different. As if a new energy had come inside her, she picked up last night's book from her bedside table and thought, let's see what I will get to learn today. She knew that in the book there were many more lessons, and she felt that the next lesson could make her life even better. She opened the next chapter of the book, The Power of Attitude. Radha read the title and said to herself, attitude seems like a very basic thing, but maybe there is something new in it. She started reading. Author Jim Rohn had written that our attitude plays a very big role in our lives. It determines how we view our situations and how we deal with them. She read that how we feel about ourselves and others directly impacts our success and happiness. Radha stopped and thought, it is true that when I feel low, everything seems negative, and when I am confident, everything seems great. She read further in the book that a positive attitude not only increases our self-worth, but it also helps us interact better with others. It also helps in building relationships. Radha found this very relatable. She remembered that whenever she was happy and positive with her friends, moments with them would naturally become good, but when she felt irritated or insecure, even small things would become a cause of big fights. There was a line in the book that impacted her a lot. Take responsibility for your feelinglessness, she thought to herself, meaning I have to accept that my feelinglessness. Music. Read further in the book. Rohn explained that we have a feelinglessness even if other people or situations trigger our emotions. How to react to them is completely our choice. Radha thought, oh, so I can stop playing the blame game for my reactions. Another concept in the interesting book was work on improving your self-image. Radha found this very powerful. She realized that she often compared herself with others and focused more on her looks. She always thought that others were smarter, more confident, or more successful than her. But this book taught her that improving self-image is a practice, and it is her responsibility to appreciate herself. Radha took out a diary and wrote, one attitude defines outcomes. The way I feel shapes the results of my life. 2 Instead of being feelingless, I work on my reactions. 3 Improve self-image. Learn to accept and appreciate yourself. After writing the diary, she thought more deeply about the role of attitude in her life. She remembered how during school days, she was always nervous about her dance performances. But when one of her friends told her, Radha, you dance very well, just have confidence. So her attitude had changed intentionally. She performed on stage with the same positivity and got a standing ovation. Radha thought, so if I think good about myself and encourage myself, then I can handle any difficult situation. She decided at that very moment that now she will try to keep her thoughts consciously positive. That day, a small incident in college gave her a chance to learn this lesson practically. A classmate, Aryan, called Radha's idea wrong during a presentation. Radha got angry at first. She was thinking that he always tries to humiliate me, but then she remembered the words from the book, feelingless. She did not let the anger overpower her and calmly told Aryan, maybe I will find my true self. She could not explain the point properly. Apart from clarifying me, not only Aryan became silent due to her attitude, but the rest of the class also listened to Radha carefully. Radha felt as if she had learned to control her emotions for the first time. In the evening, Radha came home and sat down to read a book. She read another line, a positive attitude fosters appreciation and self-worth. She thought how true this was. When I appreciate myself, I start seeing the good things in others, and when I focus only on the flaws, everything seems negative. She promised herself that from now on she would make great things within herself. She wrote in her diary, from today onwards, I will write 3 things every day for which I am thankful. This will remind me how many good things are there in my life. She started her great doodle at the same time. 1. I am thankful that I have a supportive family. 2. I am thankful that I have opportunities for learning and growth. Today I am thankful that I controlled my emotions. Radha felt that these small things were gradually changing her attitude. She was now looking at every situation with a new perspective. As the days passed, Radha felt this change in her attitude in every part of her life. She told herself that if I become a little better every day, then these small improvements together can change my whole life. This was only the 2nd chapter of Radha's journey. She knew that there were many more lessons in this book, which would add more depth to her thinking. But for now she had started giving a new shape to her attitude. Radha's day had now become very organized. She would wake up early in the morning, write great doodles in her diary, and then start the day. A new energy came inside her. She had learned 2 lessons from the book so far, and was trying to apply them in her life. She was feeling that her thinking and attitude were gradually changing. That night she switched on the table lamp in her room and looked at the next chapter of the book. Set clear goals. Radha read this title and thought for some time. She said to herself, goals, yes, everyone says that there should be goals in life, but I don't have any special goals right now. I just want to complete my studies and do something big. This is everyone's dream, isn't it? She opened the book and started reading. The author had written that without clear goals, people become directionless in their lives, and if you don't have a plan for your dreams, then you can become a part of someone else's plan. Radha was shocked to hear this line. She thought, oh, I have never thought of this, which means if I don't plan my life properly, then I will be a part of someone else's plan. I will lose the opportunity to live my life the way I want. There was another powerful line in the book. Goals act as a guide for the future. Radha underlined this. She felt that her life was lacking a road map. She was just living each day without any specific plan. The author had stressed on the importance of making goals clear and measurable. Radha found this very practical. She asked herself, what goals have I set so far that are specific and measurable? Maybe none. I just think that one day I will become successful, but I have never thought about what that success looks like. She read further in the book that writing down goals and making them specific makes them more attainable. The author encouraged that goals should always be made measurable so that you can know at what stage of your progress you are. Radha found this revolutionary. She immediately started following it. Radha picked up her diary and started thinking deeply about her life. She opened a page in her diary and wrote which goals she wanted to achieve. She kept on blank staring for some time, and then she started writing. 1. There should be improvement in my studies in the next 6 months. My target is to get at least 85 marks in every subject. 2. I want to work on my fitness. In the next 3 months, I will exercise for 30 minutes daily. 3. I will read a new book every month for self-improvement. Radha felt that as soon as she wrote these goals, there was clarity in her thinking. She felt that these goals were not arbitrary, but were specific and measurable. There was another concept in the book which impressed her a lot. Face the future with anticipation, not apprehension. Radha felt that this was probably written for her. She was often anxious about her future. She was afraid that she may not be able to meet her expectations, but now she understood that nothing will happen by being afraid. She has to look at her future with excitement. Radha thought that if I want to achieve my goals, then I have to be excited about them every day. This is not something to be afraid of, but an opportunity to make a better version of myself. The next day, Radha started working on her goals. She first focused on her study target. She made a list of her subjects and prepared a timetable. She thought that if I study for 2 hours extra every day, then this target will be achieved. She took a small step for fitness. She started doing yoga for 15 minutes in the morning. Although this was just the beginning, she told herself that this small step is the beginning of my big goal. In the evening, she also planned to read her book. She knew that this is an important step towards self-improvement. Within a few days, Radha started feeling satisfied while working towards her goals. She noticed that when you have clear goals, every day seems meaningful. Now her day was not just for passing, but every day started with a purpose. One day, her friend Riya asked Radha, "You seem different these days. How did you become so focused?" Radha smiled and said, "I have just started taking my life a little more seriously. Now I am defining my direction, and it feels great." Riya said, "Wow, I should also learn this, but I don't understand how to set goals." Radha told her the same things that she had learned from the book. She said, "Look, it is very important to write down goals, and they should be made in such a way that they are specific and measurable. Just try it once." That night, Radha realized that she was not only changing herself, but also the people around her. Radha was inspiring. She read another important part of the book. Success is the progressive realization. This line started ringing in her mind. She thought that success does not mean only big results. If I am moving a little towards my goals every day, then that is also success. Radha now started dividing herself. She divided them into short-term and long-term categories. She wrote in her diary, short-term goals: 1. Revise all the chapters by next week. 2. Make daily yoga a habit by this month. 3. Finish your current book. Long-term goals: 1. Get a good internship after graduation. 2. Reach 90% marks by next year. 3. Become a confident public speaker. Radha noticed that dividing goals into categories made them easier to achieve. Now she had a clear roadmap and she knew that she had to achieve them. In which direction to go, she also learnt that it is important to revise the goals she was planning, to check her progress every month to know whether she was on the right track or not. Her life was no longer the same. Every day seemed meaningful and purposeful. Radha was no longer afraid of what her future would be like. She started feeling excitement and positivity within herself. This was the third chapter of Radha's journey. She learnt that goals are not just dreams but action plans that shape your life, and this gave her a new direction and clarity. But the journey was not over yet. More lessons from the book were waiting for her. It was night time, and Radha was sitting comfortably in her room reading the book. She had learned 3 lessons so far, and working on them had become a habit for her. But she knew that this book was just a beginning, and she still had a lot to learn. All that was left was to turn the next page of the book. The next lesson was embrace continuous learning and self-improvement. Radha read the title and smiled. She said to herself that learning should be part of our life anyway, but maybe there is something in it that I have not understood yet. She started reading. The author had written that we should work harder on ourselves than on our job or anything else. Radha stopped as soon as she read this line. She thought, till now I always thought that my studies and career are the most important, but he is saying that working hard on oneself should come first. It was interesting. Further in the book, it was written that continuous learning and self-improvement make us more valuable, not only personally but also professionally. Radha underlined it. She realized that till now she had paid very little attention to working on herself. The author said one more thing: work harder on yourself than on your job. Is this the sentence started echoing in her mind? She asked herself, how hard I am working on myself. Am I learning something new every day? Radha remembered that earlier she had kept a target of reading 1 book every month in her goals, but she thought that self-improvement is not limited to just reading books. It needs to be taken deeper. She took out her diary and wrote, what steps should I take to improve myself? She wrote some points. Learning a new skill: I will try to learn a new skill every month, whether it is cooking, coding or any language. Taking feedback: I should ask others in which things I can improve. Reflecting: at the end of every day, think about what I have learned and what I can do better. Radha realized that self-improvement does not mean just gaining knowledge, but applying that knowledge and growing from it. She read in the book that we should learn from our experiences. Radha should reflect on her work and turn her insights into action. She started a new habit from that day onward, spending 10 minutes before going to bed at night to think about what she had learned throughout the day. On the first day, she wrote in her diary, today I learned patience when the teacher took time to explain something to me in class. I was about to get irritated, but I stopped myself and listened to him carefully. This gave me a new perspective. Radha found this small step very empowering. She felt that reflection was helping her to understand both her mistakes and achievements in a better way. There was another thing written in the book which deeply influenced her: absorb knowledge from every possible source. She thought, I only focus on learning from class or books, but in life there are opportunities to learn everywhere, from people, situations, failures. I should pay attention to all these too. The next day she started working on it. In college, she used to talk to everyone. Radha started listening to the students carefully. She noticed that every person has a unique approach. A classmate presented a project creatively, and Radha took inspiration from it. She thought that to learn, one only needs to be open-minded. Radha decided to learn from her failures. Too, she remembered that in the last semester she had not prepared properly for a test, due to which she had scored less marks. She told herself that she should not look at her mistakes as an excuse. This is a part of my improvement. She made a list of her mistakes and thought how she can work on them. It was written in the book that self-improvement leads to greater life satisfaction. Music: I am not just surviving but thriving. She thought how she can make self-improvement more consistent. She started doing this in her life plan to develop some new habits. 1. Watch a new TED Talk every week to spend 10 hours on a new skill every month. Seek advice from an experienced person once in 3 months. Radha remembered that her father always used to say that there is no age limit for learning. Now she really started to understand this. She thought that if she learned something new every day, how much better her life can be. After a few days, Radha realized that it is not just about learning, but also about converting that learning into action. She read another line from the book, taking action, which is based on the insight gained. She thought, I just keep collecting knowledge, but do not apply it. I have to change this habit. She made a small start. That very day, she got inspired by watching the TED Talk. She applied the tips mentioned in it in her studies. She saw that her focus was increasing. She told herself to take action. The most important part of learning is learning. Radha was now realizing that self-improvement is not a one-time thing. It is an ongoing process. She promised herself that she will always be a learner. Within a few weeks, Radha felt a big change in herself. She had become more confident, disciplined, and curious. She realized that self-improvement was not only making her a better person, but also increasing her overall life satisfaction. Radha picked up her diary and book and sat in her favorite corner. A cool breeze was blowing outside, and the weather was slowly moving towards winter. She reached the next chapter of the book, which was called Understand the Seasons of Life. The title immediately made Radha think. She mumbled, Seasons of Life. What could it mean? Does our life also keep changing like the seasons? She turned the page and started reading. The author had written that our life is also like the seasons. It keeps changing continuously. Just like winter, summer, spring and rain come and go, good and bad times also come in life. Radha found this idea very interesting. She thought, does every bad time not last forever, and does every good time not last on its own? It was further written in the book that if we understand that everything in life is temporary, then we can not only bear the difficult times, but can also enjoy the good times to the fullest. Radha found this very empowering. She noted in her diary that after every difficult time, a good time definitely comes, and to maintain every good time, one has to work hard. The author explained that there are 4 main seasons in life. 1. Winter, difficult time. This is the time when everything seems difficult. 2. Spring, opportunity. This is the time when everything looks golden. This is the time when new opportunities come up. 3. Summers, the time to work hard. This is the time when we have to work hard and hold on to our chances. 3. Summers, the time to harvest. This is the time when we reap the fruits of our hard work. Radha thought deeply about the seasons in her life. She remembered the time when she had failed in her 12th boards. She was in a winter. She was scared and thought her life was over, but then she started working hard, and slowly she started getting new opportunities. This was her spring. She said to herself, maybe I am in summer right now because I have to focus on my hard work so that I can get good results of my work in the coming fall. Radha found this metaphor very practical. She underlined in the book, prepare for winters and make the most of springs. She thought most people give up in difficult times, but if we understand that winter does not last forever, then perhaps we can be more resilient. She remembered that when her boards were spoiled, her father had said that after every night there is definitely morning. Now she was understanding this thing more deeply. The author had also written that in the spring, i.e. the season of opportunity, it is very important for us to take action. If we are lazy at that time, then the opportunity can slip out of our hands. Radha underlined this and thought, sometimes I also feel lazy. I think that I will do it tomorrow, but perhaps because of this I have missed many opportunities. She wrote in her diary, 1. I do not have to be afraid of my winter, i.e. difficult time, but I have to be prepared for it in advance. 2. I have to recognize my spring, i.e. opportunity, and take action immediately. 3. I have to keep consistency in summer and stick to my hard work. 4. I have to enjoy the fall, but also understand that the next season will start again. Radha thought that this philosophy is not only applicable to personal life, but also everywhere. She asked herself, am I managing the seasons in my life properly? She noticed that sometimes she procrastinates when she has opportunities. She thought that if I am lazy in spring, then I will not get anything in fall. She decided to develop a new habit. Now whenever she sees a new opportunity, she will immediately convert it into action. It was also written in the book that summer, i.e. the time of hard work, is the most challenging because at this time we may think that everything is going well, So now there is no need to work hard, but this is the time when we should continue our hard work. Radha realized that she often used to do this. When any of her exams went well, she used to think that now she should relax a bit, but now she understood that consistency is the key to success. She thought that if I do not continue my hard work, then I will not get good results in fall. Radha read further that fall is the time of harvesting, the time when we get the fruits of our hard work, but this time also does not last forever. After every fall comes a new winter. Radha felt a little strange hearing this. She thought, can we never rest completely? But then she understood that this is the meaning of life, the cycle of growth and challenge. She realized that if we understand every season and remain prepared for it, then no problem in life can ever break us completely. She wrote in her diary, life is not about avoiding winters but about preparing for them and enjoying the springs and falls to the fullest. Radha paid attention to the people around her for the next few days. She noticed that her friend Riya always complained. Radha understood that Riya was probably in the winter of her life, but she had assumed that this time was forever. Radha told Riya that time is not the same all the time. Just bear with it and make yourself strong. Soon your spring will come. Riya listened to her and slowly tried to change her perspective. Radha felt happy that she was not only working on herself, but also inspiring others. Radha learned from the book that we should be grateful for every season. She told herself that winter will teach me how strong I am. Spring will give me new opportunities. Summer will teach me the value of hard work. Fall will make me realize how sweet the fruits of hard work are. Now Radha's perspective of looking at life had completely changed. She felt a new hope and courage in her heart. But this journey was not over yet. Radha knew that there were more lessons in the book. Radha closed the book carefully and took a deep breath. Every lesson was giving her a new perspective. She realized that this book was not just for reading, but had become a medium to change her life. For the first time in her life, she felt so much clarity, as if every puzzle piece was now falling into its right place. This understanding of the seasons of life gave Radha a new strength. She now knew that difficult times do not last forever, and it is not enough to just enjoy the good times, but to maintain them, one has to work hard. Radha wrote in her diary, I will now accept every season with an open heart. Winter will teach me resilience. Spring will give me new opportunities. Summer will increase my perseverance, and fall will teach me the importance of the great deliberation. This cycle will never end, but that is the beauty of life. The next day she took a big decision. She did not want to be limited only to college and books. She decided that she would challenge herself every week to learn a new skill, meet someone new, or work on something that scared her. Radha also shared these lessons with her close friends. She explained to them how the metaphor of seasons can help them better handle their ups and downs. Riya, who was always negative, was inspired by Radha's words and started trying to change her perspective. After a few months, Radha noticed a big change in herself. She was feeling stronger, more focused and happier. She noticed that she was no longer afraid of small problems. She knew that every problem was a temporary winter that could be overcome with preparation and perseverance. One day, she sat in her room and flipped through old pages of her diary. She remembered the first day when she had started thinking about the new year. She started reading this book and said smilingly, this book was not just a guide in my hand, but a new path of my life. Radha closed the last page of the book and thought that now she was ready to write the book of her life herself. She knew that more winters would come on the way, but she was ready to face every season now. She was not afraid, because she had learned that every season has its own importance. She promised herself that she would embrace life from every aspect and would never stop. Learning the journey of life is definitely difficult, but if we walk with understanding every season, then this journey is also beautiful. So friends, this was our today's book summary. How did you like it? Please tell us by commenting, and thank you for listening to the summary till the end.